Rajasthan. It's a vibrant, exotic state where traditions and royal glory meet in a riot of colors against the vast backdrop of sand and desert. We have seen Bollywood films bringing all that beauty on the silver screen. However, there is something else that is making its presence felt in the desert. No, it's not him.
Boiling sun, the hot sand and the calm desert. And when it becomes too calm, it's just a sign that there's a storm coming. This is the 12th edition of the Desert Storm. 250 participants across 4 categories who will be covering a distance of 2,200 kilometers over the next 6 days. And it's going to get louder and louder.
Maruti Suzuki Desert Storm is an event where the man and the machine come together as one to challenge their machinery, driving and orientation. Desert Storm is one of the most mentally and physically grueling races in India, with all the aspect of the contest demanding drivers and riders complete and continued focus over the course of stages spread in 5 legs. The 2014 edition was no different. 2,200 kilometers of distance to cover, some of the harshest terrains around, equipped with a roadbook, GPS and a machine scrutinized down to the last detail. Drivers and riders set out on the largely solitary journey, 6 days on the road, day and night, battling it out to be on top. It's a rally that separates men from boys.
This year it's been much more tougher. I feel if you see the starting lineup, we have a very strong lineup from Team Mahindra Adventure, and we have some fantastic drivers who are driving the Vitaras and also a foreign car. So the lineup itself is about 10 top drivers of the country fighting it out for the #1 position. Should be a very tough one, and we are looking forward for it.
As always, the endeavor to make the event tougher, more aspirational is an ongoing process every year. And every year we try and put in some twists and turns, a little spin here and there to keep the competitor always on his toes. And this year we try to put these small dune stages as a precursor to a stage or a standalone stage, primarily hoping that this will sensitize the participant towards driving off-road, completely off-road cross-country on sand.
Definitely it's a nice rally. It has everything, the terrain-wise. The terrain is, I mean, you have fast stretches, you have sand, you have gravel. It's challenging to drive and I enjoy driving here.
Getting tougher and tougher every year. So we have to really look forward for all these things, what come up. The same stage was 90 kilometers last year. It was bad. And this time it is 105, so you can imagine.
So like any other important thing, first is paperwork. Then your vehicles are scrutinized thoroughly inside out. Well, not literally, but few basic checks as per the guidelines. Then your vehicles are stickered and the number sign becomes your identity. The popularity of the event has grown over the years, and we saw a record 250 entries in all the categories in this edition. The rally will move through the wild outback region of Sardar Shahar, Bikaner, Chhattisgarh, Jaisalmer, Sam and other areas, and finally end at Jaipur. So from Delhi, where all the participants had gathered, the rally was flagged off.
3, 2, 1.
They posed for pictures and waved their dear ones goodbye as they left for Sardar Shahar, where the first leg would start at night. The night stage is the most crucial stage of the rally. Here, not only you have to fight the dark, but also have to be fast so as to start at a good position in the next stage. One wrong turn and you would be lost in the dark and land some heavy penalties. People had eyes on the defending champion Suresh Rana and APRC champion Gaurav Gill and Karanjit Singh. However, next morning we got the news that all three are out from reckoning due to mechanical failure. Out of the 55 teams, only 35 could finish the night stage. Some of them opted for a restart with penalties. So, it's not just about the preparation, but how and what you do on the day.
Depends on the preparation, the development, what has gone into the car. This has been very significant from the last 2 years, from where we started to now. It has been very significant.
Any cross-country rally or any rally in that format, you start preparing from almost about 3 months before, wherein your car is sent to the garage and start preparing. You spend a lot of time with the mechanics and the tuners, what goes into the car. A lot of planning goes into it, and after that comes into the driver and co-driver coordination. In fact, it's very important that the driver and co-driver are synced in very well inside the car, because the more calmer you are, the better you can be performing.
Plan was to pace ourselves, which we've done. Unfortunately, we had a couple of problems. So, I mean, that happens in rallies. But the car is doing wonderfully well. We tested it nicely. It's a tough piece of machinery. It's holding up well.
Preparation comes, now with the experience also, and then you understand the terrain as to how long the rally is, and you have to how reliable you want to make it, and how much you can play around with the reliability factors to make it faster. So you have to judge in your mind, and you have to set up your car accordingly.
We saw the bikers coming first the next day, jumping and speeding and just about managing not to fall and get stuck. The favourite in the motor category were Heli, a veteran from Austria, and top Indian biker Santosh.
The ride is very, very nice for me, but it's very, very different like here. The ride is, the Himalaya is high on the mountain, and now we have sand, yes, a 5-day sand.
Into the storm, I've heard a lot of riders tell me that it's something that you really enjoy doing because it's really fast and flowing, and I had no idea what the desert was over here in this part, in India especially. I've done some riding in Abu Dhabi, but I was clueless about the desert here, and I think it's more of a Baja style event where it's really fast flowing and just the desert tracks, and it's really sandy, and also you get hard pack. It throws in hard pack and rocks, and so I mean everything that when you think you have a rhythm, it just surprises you with something else. So I really enjoy the challenge here at the Desert Storm.
My plan is I want to go to the end in this race, yes, and maybe the position is on the front, yes, maybe.
Heli actually, he's very deceptive. Everybody says 55 years old, but I've seen him ride, and that guy is fast. And even 2 days ago, I made a navigation error and he passed me, and then I rode behind him, and he definitely has some speed, so I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm so grateful because I learned from him as well, because he's a guy who never puts the bike down. And rallying is important. You got to save that machine.
So that was leg 1, some mixed results over there. We saw the extreme category, cars and bikes. Now we're in leg 2. From Bikaner, we're heading to Jaisalmer, and we can expect a lot of action with us, because as we move into the stage, it's going to get really difficult for everyone. So be ready for more action.
With the favourites out of the race, the rally was an open game. So the competitors pushed themselves hard to clock the fastest time. But when you push too hard on a turn, either you just stand still or take a circle. You take too long to move and the car behind will close gap. And when you take the wrong turn, he will overtake you. The bikers also looked a little lost. However, with a little help, he was on track. The powerful bikes moved fast, and the not so powerful ones, well, they just about managed. Leg 3 of the rally saw the rallies move to Sam Dunes, located just 42 kilometers from Jaisalmer.
So we are in the leg 3 of the Maruti Suzuki Desert Storm 2014. And like I said, as the stage would progress, so will the difficulty level. And we are in the dunes. Now to reach this place, we had to start early because to get here, either you need a camel or a 4x4 vehicle. We had none, so we had to walk quite a lot of distance to reach this place. Now, the site might look pretty, as if straight out of some Bollywood film, but for the drivers, it's going to be a tough road, or should I say, tough sand ahead.
The picturesque beauty of sand dunes here is amazing, as wind unceasingly carves out scenic patterns on the desert sand. The color changing with the shift of the shadow with passing time. Ripples and dunes create an enchanting mirage, and it was here that the third leg of the rally commenced.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
The locals got the whiff and climbed onto the dunes to watch the action. Here on the dune stage, the challenge is just to cross over, not really worrying about the speed, as the sand here is loose, lot more than what we had seen earlier. Key is to keep momentum and the right technique, else you will be stuck in the sand.
A ride like Desert Storm truly tests the skills and endurance of the driver and his machine. To last through these stages, both of them have to be fully fit.
It's not just a driver, the car has to be, in top shape. The service crew has to be very efficient. Those are the people who work actually, at any time of the day, just give them a call, they'll get under the car. They have a hard time. The navigator also has a hard time because at these speeds, just telling us where to go, he's under a lot of pressure. We try not to get angry with them, but sometimes it happens. But yeah, they play a major role in this rally. So it's a mixture of a lot of factors which have to fall together in one place at the same time. So, you have to be lucky also. It's not just driving.
Intent of the design is to create a format which tries to almost bring everybody at par. So you may be a hotshot driver and you may have a lot of money, you may have a manufacturer supporting you, but if you are unable to get all the right ingredients into your kitty, you will fall short, because it's a game which requires skill sets as well as a special kind of mental makeup to be able to adapt on the ground, on your toes all the time.
You will have to save the entire car as a whole. Some pieces you break and you can replace, but as a whole car, you have to save it.
In terms of preparation, I guess still a long way to go. Participants' cars are not really up to the mark. A lot more can be done. But I guess that needs a lot of funding, and that means a lot of help from media, so that corporates get interested and they start backing teams and individual drivers.
It was tough for the cars to maneuver around, however, it was tougher for the bikers. Santosh went past us in speed, had a fall but recovered quickly. The sand looked like a cakewalk for Heli, however, that wasn't the case for the bikers that followed. There's plenty that we saw, but only so much in show.
Now coming into the rallies and getting you all the shots, well, it's quite a task for us as well, because we have to reach the location before the drivers and set our camera and everything, carry our luggage, and wait for hours to get those perfect shot, wait for the cars to come in. And once we take a shot from one place, we have to move to another spot. So we have to travel quite a distance. In fact, we go without eating food or water or something. So yeah, if the cars don't come and it gets night, it gets late at night, we'll burn our own fire and we'll cook food, right?
It was time now for leg 4, and we caught up with Sunny Sidhu, who was leading the pack.
Yesterday we had a hard day. We had 2 flats plus one stage we got stuck So basically not a nice day yesterday. Day before that, again we had a problem in one stage. So basically we're losing time and then we're making time again. So we're just playing cat and mouse with our own self now. So hopefully...
pushing yourself in the car.
No, that's the problem. You can't push also, because if you push you might break something, or get totally out of the rally. So you have to maintain a balance basically, not to lose too much time. And now we are on a time-making mission now. So this stage, let's see. We hope to make a couple of minutes, and if all goes well, I hope we don't have any flats, because that's been our major problem since yesterday. No, the plan was to pace ourselves, which we've done. Unfortunately, we had a couple of problems. So, I mean, that happens in rallies. But the car's doing wonderfully well. We tested it nicely. It's a tough piece of machinery. It's holding up well. And yeah, you expect these little bit of glitches to come around. But we have, luckily, we had lead of about 20-22 minutes. So we had that buffer, and in the morning we started with a 5.5 minute lead. Now we are again up to 9.5 minutes. So hope to stretch it a little more in this one. We changed the setup of the car totally according to the stages. If we have fast stages, suspension has to be changed. Not changed, the setup has to be changed. And yeah, likewise, we make a couple of changes to the power ratio, everything.
Lohit too had a good run and was still in contention.
Started 5th. Road position is very important. This time we have suffered because of our road position. We've never been able to climb up really. We've been catching cars and too much dust. Twice we got stuck badly, and we had one puncture. And we lost more than an hour because of all this. So, but okay, we are still running 4th. Today morning we did a good time in the stage. We've been doing quite fast times whenever possible, but yeah, the setback we are not able to make up. We'll see. This is one tough stage now, so we are looking forward to this one.
Defending champion Rana was out of the race, but like a true sportsman, was still completing the race.
फर्स्ट डे क्लच पे प्रॉब्लम आई थी, क्लच प्लेट जलने की वजह से हम रैली से आउट हो गए थे, तो दोबारा रीस्टार्ट लेके हम अपना एंजॉय कर रहे हैं और टेस्टिंग भी हो रही है और काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है और पूरी कोशिश रहेगी कि जितनी भी स्टेजें बची है हम फास्टेस्ट क्रॉप करें.
Leg 4 had started, and the holy cow was present there with her family to witness it. This wasn't the toughest of the stage, however maintaining the lead and making up time was important. And everyone from car drivers to the motorcyclists were gunning for glory. Due to bad weather, the final stage of Leg 5 was called off, and all of us headed to Jaipur, where all the team assembled for the final prize distribution. The cars who witnessed 6 days of non-stop action now stood quietly in the parking lot. We caught up with Sarika, the only female rallist in extreme category, to complete the race.
I thought I should be breaking my car on day 1. So for 2 days I went easy, and day 3 I started making the timings, and till day 6 I preserved and finished. Because I knew already that there were 55 participants in extreme, and just 30 people, they completed it. So half of the people, they didn't completed it because they were just bashing away the cars on the day 1, day 2 and just breaking everything. And we were in so many interior sections where you couldn't find any kind of spares. Even if you were carrying a car full of spares, you couldn't find the part what you wanted. I think I was not lucky with my car enough. I don't know, I didn't have the time to prepare too much with my car because it was an instant decision. Otherwise, I was doing much better timing. So I'm not happy this much, even though I have a new navigator which was doing for TSD. So I was not too glad the calls were not matching with the extreme and the TSD guys. They always differentiate, right?
And so it was time to announce the winners. In the extreme category, it was Sunny Sidhu and PVS Murthy who emerged winners, followed by Sandeep Sharma and Varun Tavesar. Amar Tejpal Bhuwal and Nakul Mendiratta came third. In the motor category, it was Santosh who retained his title as India's top biker. Heli was the first runner-up and Suresh Babu stood third. The top prize in the Rally Endure category went to Satish Gopalkrishnan and navigator Savera D'Souza.
Now what an action-packed week it has been. We covered almost 2200 kilometers, I can say that everybody practically lived on the road. We went to the remotest of the places, saw the toughest of the terrains, and we saw the competitors fighting it out to stay on top. It's been a true test, not only for the drivers, the navigators, the support staff, but of course of the machines. One look at them and you would know what I'm talking about. This is where the men get separated from the boys. This was the Desert Storm 2014.